one of the, in your class, if you've taken your classes, you find out about Katie Lynch.
Yes.
What did Katie Lynch mean to you personally? And just how has her impact in your life? How has that had an impact in your life?
Well, I would encourage everyone who's watching this video to go to www.purpleshoeschallenge.com. Katie came into my life when I was a teacher in Wayland. She was in 7th grade, and I taught Katie, who was born with a connective tissue disorder, and Katie's mature adult height was 27 inches, and she had 7-inch arms and needed personal care, but she was brilliant, graduated from Wayland High School with honors, and graduated from Regis College summa cum laude, and she had an extremely supportive family, and Katie just became the love of my life. She was so enthusiastic. She was so happy to be with someone who was seeing her for her strengths and helping her enjoy movement environments. God, I could go on. I better taper this because I could go on for hours about Katie. So, Katie, for example, we had the Easter Seals shootout at Wayland Middle School where students would get sponsors by the basket. They would stand on the foul line and they'd shoot baskets for 3 minutes, and they would get how many baskets they made in 3 minutes, and of course the sponsors would give them the money. It would go to Easter Seals. Well, Katie said, Coach Pass, she called me Coach Pass. She said, Coach Pass, I would love to do that. And I'm thinking, whoa, Katie's uses a wheelchair, has 7-inch arms. I said, okay. So I got this Larry Bird little cutout basketball backboard, and I got this basketball the size of a grapefruit, and Katie wheeled her electric wheelchair right up to it, and she shot the basket. I got the rebound and handed it to her. She made like 85 shots in 3 minutes and raised $1,700 for Easter Seals. And because of her raising that money, she got to meet Kevin McHale in the old Boston Garden when he was with the Celtics. This is how long ago this was. And you can just imagine Katie, 27 inches tall, shaking hands in the middle of Boston Garden with Kevin McHale, 7 feet 1 inch. It was just an amazing shot. And Katie went on to win multiple awards. She won a statewide athletic award for her academics and athletics. So she was honored once again at Boston Garden during a Bruins game with 12 other student athletes around the state. And it was so funny because it was like everybody was standing in a line, and there were the different heights of the athletes, and then boom, came down to Katie, and then boom, and went up again, and Katie was in her chair. So what does Katie mean to my life? She meant everything to my life. She affirmed in me what my role was as a teacher. She reaffirmed in me what I felt that education was, and that is helping students of all abilities want to have success in a movement environment. With younger children, it's play. With older children, it's sports and physical education. With older children and adults, it's recreation. And helping people believe that nobody is disabled. We're all differently abled. I think I might have jumped ahead here. But that was the motto, that was the cadence, the mantra that Katie and I had, that nobody is disabled, we're all differently abled. So she took my thinking and my feeling and my heart and my mind to another level when it came to, and nothing would hold Katie back. In 2001, Katie walked 26 feet 2 inches at the beginning of the Boston Marathon to raise $28,000 for Children's Hospital. And when she did that race, Dave McGilvery, who's been the director of that race for 38 years, calls it one of the most moving events that ever happened at the Boston Marathon. He also calls Katie one of the top 10 athletes he's ever worked with the Boston Marathon. And Nike shoes made Katie this mini pair of purple shoes, because purple was her favorite color. And so that's why Katie passed away in 2002 due to complications from surgery, because she had 15 life-threatening surgeries during her. She had a connective tissue disorder which caused aneurysms to come up in different parts of her body. So Katie's family and a group of friends have started a foundation, the Katie Lynch Foundation, and on May 16th at Newton South High School, we're going to have 300 to 500 runners running a half marathon. It's called the Heartbreak Hill Half Marathon. So what they're going to do is run the streets of Newton, and they're going to pick up on the Boston Marathon Heartbreak Hill route as part of the half marathon. So if anybody watching this video, it runs half marathons and wants a challenging course, they should go to www.heartbreakhillhalfmarathon.com and they can register. That'll be May 16th, Sunday, May 16th. And while they're running the road race, I'm inside the beautiful Newton South Fieldhouse, and I'm running the Purple Shoes Challenge. And I have athletes who want to run their own modified half marathon. And a half marathon is 13.1 miles. So I have 5 events that athletes can decide on depending on their level of ability. I have a 13.1 foot event for individuals who are significantly disabled. And then I have a 14.1 meter event, run, walk, wheel event. That's about 43 feet long. And then I have a .131 mile event, which is 2.5 laps around the field house. And then I have, a 1.31 mile event, which is 11.5 laps around the field house. And then I have a 60-minute ultra challenge. It's how far, can an athlete go in 60 minutes. So what I've done is I've modified a competitive environment, and to qualify to be in the Purple Shoes Challenge, an athlete has to have a physical disability. Unlike Special Olympics, where athletes have to have an intellectual disability in order to qualify for Special Olympics, we want to provide an activity for people who do have average to above average intellectual abilities and can understand the effects of a workout routine and fitness. And so we want to give people who have a physical disability the ability to be a marathoner and run their own personal half marathon. So we're going to give people the same opportunity that Katie had in 2001 when she ran her own personal marathon with 26 feet 2 inches. And when you come to think that Katie was born without knees, and through surgeries they had to reconstruct her knees, and she worked for 9 months to get ready for that 26 feet 2 inches. And I'll never forget, about halfway through her training, she called me up, and she injured her knee, and the doctor said, "You got to take some time off." And she was so frustrated. She said, "Coach Pass, I'm an athlete. I can't take time off. I have to train." And she honestly meant that. So I do the same thing for individuals with physical disabilities, and give them an opportunity to compete and to train and to have a competitive athletic event. Even though they're not racing against each other, they're racing against their own time. So that's what the Purple Shoes Challenge is. But between the half marathon and the Purple Shoes Challenge, we have provided a competitive activity for anyone of any ability can participate, can compete, can have that athletic